Hey guys, ShadowRock here with the first real news drop for Blaster Master 03 since the announcement a couple months ago. There's no trailer this time, so it's going to be a bit of a shorter video. But today we're getting a tease of how the game starts off with the opening sequence. And I don't know if anyone called what happens when Jason and Eve land on planet Sophia. But we'll get into that in just a moment. We also got some character profiles and artwork for Jason, Eve, Fred, and the guy Sophia SV. And wow, that Eve artwork. She really tried to put her BMZ1 outfit on even though it doesn't fit anymore. More power to her. Anyways, let's get on to the opening sequence. We pick up right where Blaster Master 02 leaves off, with Jason and Eve arriving on planet Sophia after their long and perilous journey through space. However, these two never get a break because a new crisis was already there lying in wait for them. They were attacked by Sophia's army, the Sophia Force, and their interplanetary all-terrain battle tank G-Sophia SV was rendered inoperable. Jason, Eve, and Fred were then captured and immediately separated from each other. And you can see where all the Locks and Eve's artwork comes into play, as she is literally suspended by chains, because the laws of anime tropes demands it. In the next scene, we find Jason looking all depressed while hanging out in jail, saying to himself, "Why did they do this to us?" But before Jason could find any answers to that question, the Sophia Force base where he and the others were being held captive suddenly fell into chaos, allowing him to escape and recover G-Sophia SV. Presumably that's where all the interdimensional portals start appearing everywhere. The last scene brings us to a shot of Jason getting ready with the G-Sophia SV, with the words, "The fate of Jason and Eve, and the fate of planet Sophia," all revolve around the threat of the mutant Scourge. But now, an interdimensional reversal of fate is beginning. And notice those words at the end there, a reversal of fate. Like I said in the past, that's definitely going to be the big theme for this game, defying your expectations and flipping things on its head. And part of me still believes that that's going to play a role in Jason's character development in BMZ3 as well. Other than that, Jason now joins the likes of Mario on the list of characters that start their game by getting thrown in jail for something he probably didn't do. And that's the part that's unexpected. The people of planet Sophia just turning on them from the outset, even though these are supposed to be Eve's people, man. But now they're locking them all up like they're traitors or something. They don't go into detail here what that's all about. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe they do have a reason for it. They got framed for a crime they didn't commit. Maybe by an imposter from the alternate dimension. Or maybe the person calling the shots on planet Sophia is evil. Or worse, being manipulated by an evil force. Well, the game is out in 2 months, so we'll find out in due time. While we wait, let's read these character profiles. First up is Jason, who we have official character art for now, that shows off his new suit quite nicely. We've gone into detail about his new suit quite a bit in the past. Jason is described here as a young man confronting a reversal of fate. Reversal being in quotations. Big foreshadowing, huh? Actually, thinking about it now, we were just discussing in the last video how King Gardner, the protagonist from Metafight, might be in this game, right? Maybe one of the things this reversal of fate is talking about is how this is a remake of Metafight and Blaster Master, and the roles have kind of been reversed, with Jason taking the spotlight from King Gardner. But now Kane is like, "Alright, listen up. This is my planet, this is my show now." Well, maybe, I'm just spouting ideas. Also, that would be really meta if they went that far. As if him being in the game isn't meta enough. Get it? Meta fight? Hehe. On that subject, if we are going strictly off of Metafight lore, there's a fair chance this King Gardner guy is affiliated with the Sophia Force in some capacity. Maybe he even antagonizes Jason at some point by laying down the law on him, resulting in a boss fight, just like how it goes with the other MA pilots in BMZ2. Then once Jason is able to prove his innocence, they become allies for the rest of the game. Those soldiers on the left hand side of the key art as well, probably the Sophia Force. It's all coming together. But that's just a theory. Anyways, all these character profiles have a quote next to them, and Jason's quote is, G Sophia SV and I will never back down from our fight to save Eve. And then here's the description I gave him. Jason is a young man who has battled against the mutant scourge aboard the battle tank Sophia 3, Sophia 0, and G Sophia. His intergalactic journey to save his partner Eve, who had been corrupted by mutant cells, at long last brought him to the planet Sophia, where he was captured by the planet's military, the Sophia Force. After taking advantage of a chaotic situation, he managed to escape and reclaim his new tank, G Sophia SV. He now finds himself desperately searching the planet Sophia for Eve, who has gone missing. Speaking of the devil, Eve is described as the partner who disappeared into super-dimensional space. And I believe I did call that when I was looking at the key art, that it looked like Eve was going to be held captive in the alternate dimension. So nice, at least I got one. Her quote reads, "Don't worry, I found the answer I needed." Now that's taken entirely out of context, so it's tough to say what that actually means. But perhaps when they get captured, something happens that causes Eve to have a bit of an internal crisis, and she's trying to figure out her reason for being or something along those lines. That's just one theory. Anyway, Eve is a young woman who crossed paths with Jason on Earth. She is the support droid for the battle tank Sophia 3, and she and Jason formed a deep bond during their battles against the mutants on Earth. However, Eve became corrupted with mutant cells during their battles and was in grave danger. She overcame her corruption after battling the mutants in super-dimensional space, but after getting captured upon her arrival to Sophia, her whereabouts are now unknown. You know, what if Eve got labeled a criminal because she messed up the original Sophia 3? So they're like, oh no, my tank! That'd be kind of funny actually. Let's move on then to the good boy, Fred, a mysterious creature with a shiny metallic body. Fred was originally created to be the support drone. Wait, support drone? Oh, okay then. AKA support animal for the Sophia 3 battle tank, but has since formed a very deep bond with Eve and Jason after their journey through space together and their battles against the mutants. He has the ability to create wormholes, which support Jason and G Sophia SV in their searches in many ways. Yeah, standard stuff there. More interesting is the profile on the G Sophia SV itself, the supreme evolution of the Metal Attacker. Don't know what's so supreme about it considering there seems to be another Sophia you end up with by the end of the game, but I digress. The official name is Earth MA001 SV Gaia Sophia SV. Based on the designs for Sophia 3 and Sophia 0, G Sophia SV is a new interplanetary all-terrain battle tank, aka Metal Attacker, co-developed by Jason and Eve during their time on Earth. It comes equipped with the Gaia system, which converts impacts to the vehicle's chassis into energy. Now we get into the interesting lore. So remember those blue parts on the G Sophia SV, and I was talking about how, well maybe since now you have access to the missiles from the Garuda, maybe it has something to do with Lebnis. But the truth is, the original G Sophia parts that were destroyed during their journey through space were replaced with parts from the Metal Attacker Andrea that Eve had a fateful encounter with in Area Omega. So yeah, it turns out at the end of Blaster Master 02, because G Sophia got damaged by the mutant cocoon, they had to salvage the parts from Andrea in order to repair it. And that's where those blue parts come from. Even before this, a couple of people were telling me that G Sophia does suddenly turn a bit blue in the final boss fight at the end of DMZ2. And I was going to mention it anyways when the next update came out, so here we are. It's confirmed now, it is from the Andrea. Furthermore, this refurbished version was given the codename SV, which, as it turns out, stands for Supreme Vehicle. Kind of generic I guess, but it works, I don't mind it. But yeah, no mention of Lebnis and how he plays a part in all this stuff with the G Sophia having his own weapon and all that. Guess we'll just have to wait and see if they release more character profiles. The only other thing we got today was a slight bit of gameplay. Not a trailer, but just a small teaser of what it looks like booting up the game. First of all, we are treated to the file select screen, which obviously looks very similar to the past two games. And it's confirmed that the opening sequence screenshots we saw before must appear when you boot up the game, just like how in BMZ 1 and 2, you turn on the game, and it goes through several scenes just telling you about the story in typical NES game fashion. That's because when you start up a new file, the game wastes no time getting started as Jason comes blasting through a wall, saying what roughly translates to, "I managed to escape." This scene also appears to take place inside the indoorsy area that we saw during the reveal trailer, so that more or less confirms that you start indoors when you begin the game. And the outside area that Inti showed off during New Game Plus Expo happens a little bit later. Oh, and listen closely in this scene. Yeah, did you hear that? In case there was any doubt, Japanese voice acting has now been officially confirmed for Blaster Master 03, in addition to all the Japanese voices being added to the first two games as well. And obviously it's going to be using the same voice cast that's already been announced. In fact, a prior Inti livestream did demo a bit more of the voice acting for the first two games, which you can listen to now. So, big ups on the presentation there. That's gonna be a treat to play through Blaster Master 03 for the first time with voice acting, even though it's not in my native language. It is what it is. Guys, that's pretty much it for the Blaster Master 0 news for today. What do you guys think of the voice acting so far? And were you a little surprised as well by that opening sequence? Let us know in the comments. And for more on Blaster Master 0, Inti crates, and all things Mega Man, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Until next time, rock on and have yourselves a great day or night.